Good morning, good morning, good morning. Buenos dias, mi gente. Yo. Welcome to Daily Discipline. Hey, it's Rob. Happy that you're here. Honored and humbled that you keep coming back, like for reals. Hey, today's Daily Discipline, this is a first. We got a sponsor. Yeah, our sponsor is Chubby's World Class Snacks. Never trust a skinny cook. And if you don't know anything about Chubby's, head on over to the website, chubbysworldclasssnacks.com. It'll be operational hopefully by the end of the week. But you can check it out now, see what we're working on. And today's Daily Discipline is this. Figure it out. Figure out how to hold yourself accountable so that you do what you need to do. Let me say that again. Figure out how to hold yourself accountable so that you'll do what you need to do to be successful. As always, I'll tell you a little story about what I'm talking about. Let's start with last Friday. Last Friday, got up in the morning. My littles were here, and we went for a really nice walk. Did basically a 5K, and got done. We went over to Jimmy's Egg, had a great breakfast, feeling good about ourselves. Right? Came back, got ready. I was traveling. I had to travel to Illinois for a funeral. One of my very best friends, somebody that I really thought highly of, passed away. Now, Precious was nearly 84 years old, right? Not a young man by any stretch, but he's still a friend. So even knowing that his time was about up, I tried to prepare myself mentally for what I knew was going to happen, and then, fell off the wagon hard. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about overeating. About shoving things into my face when I don't need to because I'm already full. So here's how it went down. Feeling good, get to the airport, and there's the knock on the door. The one inside my head. It's my beast. My monster saying, "Hey, I'm hungry." Like, yeah, probably are hungry. Haven't eaten in a couple hours. Let's get a snack. So we're at the Tulsa International Airport, pick up a couple things. One of the three things I had was enough for what I needed. I needed a snack to get me from Tulsa to the airport in Chicago where I could order myself some dinner. But I didn't. I ordered enough stuff to get me all the way to Chicago and all the way back and never have to worry about another snack. Devoured them all. It's all gone before I got to Chicago. So I'm feeling pretty full by the time I get to Chicago. But I get my rental car, get to my hotel, check into the hotel. As I'm checking in, the guy's telling me, like, hey, if you need some room service or you can order DoorDash, you did, blah, 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 right? Rob, I'm hungry. We haven't eaten in a little bit. What's for dinner? I'm like, man, you don't need to eat. You ate all that stuff on the way over here, all those snacks. Just wait for a little bit. Yeah, but we're hungry. Well, there's food here in Chicago that you can't get in BFOK. You're right. Man, I sure would love some pho, so I ordered some pho. And as I was explaining to my accountability partner, which we'll talk about in a minute, last night, I didn't just order the pho, I had to order the spring rolls too, right? And as I'm eating them, I start thinking about something sweet, which ends up me ordering stuff from, room service. And I don't just order like something, I order ice cream, I order a brownie and a Pepsi. Why? I don't know, because I could. Right? There's no other real explanation. As I was eating that, I knew what was going to happen. I knew that I was going to have a hard time sleeping. I knew that the next day I would feel like shit. I knew that I would regret it, but I still did it. And then as I laid there full, thinking to myself, like, worried that I might not, once the darkness creeps in and you start listening to those voices, like I convinced myself, like, man, I might not even make it through the night. What I just did to myself, if my heart just stopped here, wouldn't be surprised. Thankfully, none of those things happened. Got up the next morning, felt like shit. And I reminded myself, like, hey, you made a promise last night that you're going to stop doing this and you're going to figure out how to hold yourself accountable. Just figure it out. Figure out what it is that I need to do so that I behave in a way that puts me in a position to live my best life. Laying around, uncomfortable, wanting to throw up, beating myself up over overeating is not the key to success. You know what it is? Figuring out how to hold myself accountable. So, Went through the day yesterday or Saturday, feeling terrible, right? Physically feeling terrible. Feeling like I was on the verge of throwing up almost the entire day because of what I did to myself the night before. And then that creates all kinds of awkward conversations. You're at a funeral, people like, you going to get something to eat? Like, not really hungry. You want something to drink? Like, don't know. A little touch and go after what I did to myself last night. So I got back home late Saturday night, and yesterday I called my auntie. That's Japanese for my big brother. There's somebody that I met in my life 20 years ago who's still a regular part of my life, who understands me. And I took things like 2 steps further than they normally go. Having an honest conversation about what I went through, the thoughts that went through my head. And I did this because I knew my auntie would understand. Not only that, I knew that if I asked him and said, hey, can you help me hold myself accountable? He didn't even hesitate. He said, yes, of course. And he also knows who I am and how I react. He knows that, being Bill Belichick and hitting me over the head and acting like a drill instructor, like I'll just stop talking to him, right? Like I do to anybody else that treats me like that. He'll treat me with love and with empathy and understanding, but yet he will hold me accountable, which is exactly what I need in my life right now. So again, to put everything, wrap it all up. We all are in charge of our own happiness and success. When we have things that we continue to trip up on, we have to figure out what's it going to take so that I change my behavior. And usually it's figuring out how to hold yourself accountable. So you say, hey, I got to make a decision here. This short term, followed by regret and then having to hold myself accountable to my friend, or do I make a good decision here and then I'm proud of what I've done when I'm talking to my friend? For me, that's a pretty easy decision. So again, we're sponsored today by Chubby's World Class Snacks. Never trust a skinny cook, and make sure you come back soon. With that, we're done. Hands up, peace out, we're better together. I got shit to do. Let's go. See ya. Deuces. #Real Talk.